Alright guys, welcome back to another weekly manga review, and we had a nice surprise today. Chapters were up early, very early. I think it was like 6 o'clock this morning or something. I'm not sure when they were posted, but I was just checking out the sites and I saw the chapters were up, and it's always awesome to get the chapters early. I really look forward to these, and when they're up early, it's just a nice surprise. Rarely happens, but it's cool when it does. So we get all three mangas this week. Sadly, we find out that One Piece is going to be on a break next week. I kind of feel like Oda's taking a lot of breaks, but I'm not going to complain about that because he continues to write great chapters every single week, and the man has worked hard for years now. So when he takes a break, I definitely don't complain about it. I mean, he's probably made so much money he could just end the series now, but he truly, you can tell with his writing that he truly loves One Piece. So it kind of sucks for us fans that it's going to be on a break next week, but it's not really a big deal. So to start with Naruto chapter 593, Orochimaru Resurrected. Holy crap, this guy is probably one of my favorite manga villains in any series. Orochimaru is just awesome, and I'm hoping he does come back to be kind of a final villain in this series. So Sasuke uses Anko's body to bring back Orochimaru because she has the curse seal on her neck. Now I know I said before that Anko's still alive, and everything I've seen, she is still alive, even after this. But he summons Orochimaru. Sugetsu is completely against this. He's afraid of Orochimaru. But he comes out. This giant snake pops out. Orochimaru jumps out the mouth. And it's cool. I'm glad he's back. It just kind of felt like an ass pull. Like Kishimoto just kind of said, alright, here, Orochimaru's back. And what doesn't make sense to me is Kabuto is incredibly smart. He probably knew about all these different techniques, and he said that he wanted Orochimaru back. In the fight with Itachi and Sasuke, Itachi said you can't bring him back, so you tried to turn yourself into him. If Sasuke just instantly did this, how could Kabuto not know about this? Wouldn't he have just brought back Orochimaru like hundreds of chapters ago? So that didn't really make any sense to me. But one of my favorite characters is back, so I'm still happy about this. Orochimaru says he doesn't care about the war. Because his chakra was trapped inside the curse seal, he heard everything and saw everything through Anko's eyes. He doesn't care about the war. He wants Sasuke's body. He just isn't strong enough to get it yet. He comes right out and tells Sasuke this. Sasuke wants to talk with someone. I'm not really sure who it is. But Orochimaru says, alright, then we have to go to a place that you know very well. And then the last thing we see is Sasuke and Orochimaru getting ready to leave. I guess the four of them are going to travel together now, Jugo and Sugetsu. It is kind of funny the way Sugetsu reacts to Orochimaru, so there was some comedy in this chapter. If I had to guess, I was assuming Sasuke wants to talk to his parents again, because he wants to find out more about Itachi and the village, and Orochimaru said, why do you want to speak with them? But it could also be someone very powerful. They could be going to Konoha and talking to those elders. So I'm not really sure what's going to happen here, but overall it was a decent chapter. Now on to the big Bleach chapter 500, Rescuer in the Deep Dark. The Shinigami are told by this transmission that has these things set up all over Soul Society to speak to all the captains and vice captains. They're told that Ichigo is coming and his Bankai cannot be stolen. So all of them are happy. Renji, Rukia, they're all smiling. Zaraki's like, he's coming? And everybody's all happy about this. And then Akon says his Ryetsu just disappeared because he's trapped in the cage we saw last chapter. So Ichigo's trapped in this cage. He's trying to break free. He starts to hear the transmission, and all he can hear is everyone getting killed. The technology division is under attack apparently, and then all these voices just come through at once, and he's hearing all these different voices screaming. Basically Soul Society getting destroyed. And Ichigo's hearing all of this. He's trying his best to break out of the cage, and he just can't do it. And then we see Opie. Well, before this, we see that somehow, I guess the Quincy's are able to control people, because one of those big giants who guards the gate, Jindenbo, and Ren, one of these little people who is a scientist in the technology division, they're kind of turning on their own people, like they're possessed or something. They're under the Quincy's control, so they're wreaking havoc in Soul Society. So now there's just even more chaos, as if the Quincy's wasn't enough. So that was pretty good. I like that. I like that just when you think Ichigo is going to show up and beat everybody, it changes. And I'm very happy about that, because that's the last thing I wanted to see, was Ichigo show up and just finish everything up. So then we cut back and Opie says Ichigo's really going wild, but there's no way he can break through that cage. And he says, alright, I'm about to finish off Orihime, Chad, and Urahara, and then he just gets cut in half. And Urahara's looking at someone and he's freaking out, and we just see a sword next to Urahara's head. Now, I personally think that whoever did this because they killed Opie is probably going to be a good guy. I have no idea who it is, though. At first I was thinking maybe it's Araki. Because he doesn't need a Bankai to be powerful, but the sword didn't have all those little chips in the blade. Then I thought maybe Ashida, but because there's a sword involved, it couldn't be him. So right now, I'm thinking Ichigo's dad. He hasn't really done a whole lot. I know he was much bigger in the war with Aizen. However, I still think Kubo has a lot planned for Ichigo's dad, and I think there's going to be a lot more to him in the future. So I'm thinking it could be Ichigo's dad here. Maybe Yamamoto, a very powerful person in order to kill Opie like that. So it was a pretty good chapter this week. Just because it's 500 doesn't really mean it's anything special, because when you're working with manga, you have a story, and you can't just change that because it's a special chapter. So I didn't really expect anything special just because it's 500, but I still thought it was a pretty okay chapter. On to One Piece chapter 674, The Spectators. Cover story arc is resuming apparently, and it's going to be the screams that echoed from Mermaid Cove. So I'm thinking Caribou, the guy who could turn into mud. He ate the devil fruit that allows him to just turn into like a big swamp. I guess it's going to maybe follow him. It just showed a bunch of mermaids back on Fishman Island, so I'm not really sure what it's going to be about, but I really enjoy these cover stories. I wish more mangas use these as a way to show what's happening with other characters. I think it's an awesome idea, and Oda does a great job with these, so I'm definitely glad that it started again. We see Usopp and Nami. They're fighting Caesar. He's trying to get these kids to come back. He's offering them candy again. And Usopp tries to stop him because he knows he's the gas fruit, so he shoots the Firebird star at him. And it just fades away into nothing like a tiny little baby bird. So Caesar tells him that not everything is poison gas, and he can actually control anything that is gas. So he can control entire atmospheres. So it is a much more powerful fruit than I initially thought. He actually can suck out oxygen, which he does to suffocate Nami and Usopp. And he says that that is what he did to Luffy, Frankie, and Robin. So when we were reading that chapter and Luffy just kind of passed out for no reason, that's what happened to him. Caesar just sucked the oxygen out of him. Now, I'm a little bit confused. I guess he does this on an individual basis because the kids were fine. So it's not like he sucked out all the oxygen in the room. He just did it for those individuals. I also don't know if he's the one who did that to Law, or if that was Virgo using Haki or something on Law. I'm not really sure what that was, but Caesar was very far away. He did say he can do it through a radius, but if he was fighting Luffy and made Luffy suffocate, how did he know to do that to Law? So, I'm still not sure. We don't really know Virgo's powers, so we could find out later that it was Virgo, but I was just questioning these things. He tells the kids to crush Nami and Usopp for making them feel even more pain. They pick up a big pipe, and Brownbeard runs by, knocks the pipe over. Oda makes a point to draw a panel of these kids falling and getting hit by the pipe. I thought that was just funny. He threw that in there. And Brownbeard tries to attack Caesar. Caesar kind of evaporates or separates and then forms back together to avoid the attack, but doing so causes Nami and Usopp to regain themselves. They're no longer choking. I guess he can't do both things at once. So they're okay. They try and chase after the children. And Caesar uses his little devices, the explosive devices, on Brownbeard, blows him up, and then he goes right after Nami and Usopp, blows them up, and then he signals to Monet. He's got the kids, he's in a hot air balloon, he's traveling. He tells Monet to prepare Smiley's bait, the giant slime blob. We see Luffy in the cell, and he's just smiling. He's hearing all this, and it doesn't even faze him. I thought that was a great panel. Caesar sends out a message to all the illegal brokers that they're about to see the experiment, and if they want to purchase this weapon, they can work out a deal. And we see all these shadowy figures watching this. And the last one we see is Eustace Kid. So, holy crap, that is a lot to take in. So what I think is going to happen here is Luffy, the ones in the cell, are going to be fed somehow to the slime monster as bait, which Caesar said is over the 4 years since the incident that destroyed Punk Hazard, he has actually improved this weapon of mass destruction, made it even stronger, and he's probably going to have Luffy and all the others, Smoker and Tashigi, try and fight against this thing. So that's going to be cool, and he's doing all of this while these people interested in buying the weapon are watching. So a lot of crazy stuff's happening. We know that Don Quixote Don Flamingo is behind all of this. So there's just some crazy stuff going on here. I really like this chapter. And it's always fun to see the shadowy figures and go through and try and guess who is who, or maybe some new characters, maybe people we've seen before. So that's always fun. So I really did enjoy this chapter. And that's it, guys. That's my review of this week's manga chapters. I hope you liked the video. Next week, I guess it's just going to be Naruto and Bleach, but hopefully those are two great chapters next week also. So hope you guys liked this video. Leave your thoughts on this week's manga chapters in the comments below, and thanks for watching.